Today we continue the journey of upgrading my virtual pinball machine, and wow, what a difference this part of the upgrade has made to my enjoyment of the machine. It's absolutely incredible. Let's get the upgrade of the PC done. Couldn't go out, guys, and buy a brand new motherboard and the current chipset and the current, CPU. It really adds up, even when you build your own, and which is what I was going to do. So I looked around and around. I normally always get i7s. I settled on an i5 with high megahertz or gigahertz on the clock is really key, especially for visual pinball. Good to have a good graphics card as well, of course, and then having clearly more than 4 gig of RAM and Windows 64-bit. All of those things were on the shopping list for me as a sort of a minimum. So I found finally a machine, and it was through Facebook Marketplace actually, but it's not one I would typically buy, and it's not one that I would have thought would run so amazingly well on here. So I'm hoping that me sharing these specs with you today, guys, you can sort of realize that for not a lot of money, you can actually get an absolute awesome platform to run the games. Now, I will confess that I have actually, of course, swapped my 1080 GTX 1080 in there, which isn't a low-end card. It's not the high-end card now with all the race tracing cards out, of course, but that if you had to buy that as well as, then of course the price is going to go up, but I already had that. So what did I get? I got an i5. It's a fixed clock one. It's not a clockable one, but it runs at 3 gigahertz, but it does have the ability for it to turbo up. 3.8, I can lock it effectively at 3.8 in terms of turbo boost, because in the BIOS settings, guys, you can take it off the normal eco-friendly mode, which allows it to go up and down through the gigahertz up to the maximum and then down again. I just thought, bugger that, I'm locking it in performance mode, and now I'm getting a steady 3.8 gigahertz, which, close to 4 gigahertz, that's plenty enough. And it was on this tiny little motherboard, no frills motherboard, but new, and that was important to me. And of course it was in a new case, a new power supply. It had DDR4 memory, which was good. A lot of the others were sort of sitting around the DDR3, 2400 megahertz, I think the memory, and we got 8 gigs in there. It would have been nice to have 16, but 8 double 64-bit Windows. All the boxes were ticked, guys, and the price was really reasonable. So it runs it so beautifully, guys. I can't express how happy I am now that I can turn this damn thing on. It rockets up to speed. It's got one of those what are they called, M2 dot whatever bloody memory, onboard SSDs, but they're the stick type. Anyway, it's got one of those built onto the, not built on, but you slot it in onto the motherboard. And I bought my SSD from my old PC and also transferred it on, so it's got no mechanical drives, at a total of 750 gigs of storage space. So absolute plenty. It just runs like a dream, and because it's so smooth, and we're not talking up to where I really want to get it, guys. I want to get get the screen that can do the 120 hertz and stuff, or even higher, and have that level of fidelity, and I think pinball still needs that, but it's super smooth at 60. And if I show you now the settings in preferences, okay, because I know some of you guys will want to set yours in a similar way, and especially if you've got similar settings to me, then you should get the same sort of performance. So you can see I've got unlimited textures, got the elements detail right up, texture filtering with the quality. I've got the VSync on, so no tearing. The pre-rendered frames are down really low to reduce lag, and I'll tell you what, lag has reduced from the previous setup, absolutely. I've got all of these on, reflecting the ball in the playfield, quality SMAA, brute force 4 times SS anti-aliasing. So yeah, guys, absolutely maxing that out, and that is awesome. Let me show you now my NVIDIA settings. Okay, so here's my NVIDIA settings, guys. I won't go through all of these in detail. You can see that I've got 8 times anti-aliasing, super sample on, gamma corrections on, it's not normally on, ultra low latency mode, which helps again with low latency on the inputs. Prefer maximum performance, shader cache is on, texture filtering is on quality. So yeah, hopefully guys this helps you if you're wondering what settings to put into play. But I tell you what, this is absolutely premium. Let's quickly look at the CPU setup, and here we go. You can see it is running at 3.8 effectively, pretty much locked because I've got the performance setting on the main board. You can see all the other settings there, the caches, the main board, memory, DDR4 8 gigs, SPD. Interesting, I saw this before that these were running at 1200, but this one at 1120, so I'm not sure why that is. Graphics card, of course, the 1080, which I mentioned. So yeah, again, hopefully all those settings, guys, gives you something to think about and use and test on your own rigs.